Welcome to That's What Speaks. That was I inverted that fake bitch thing. I don't know what happened. Anyway, today is Wednesday, and it's almost the end of May, whatever that might be. But this is episode 148, I think. Does that sound good to you? Sounds good to me. 147, I'm a liar. The bad thing is I literally just looked it up. Couldn't remember. 147, that's what we're doing. That's right. There's too much stuff going on in here. Too much stuff. Hello. I'm Amy Beth, also known as Fat Squirrel on Ravelry and The Fat Squirrel, SQRRL, on Instagram. How are you doing? I'm very itchy. I apologize if there's occasional... That's mosquitoes. We just got back. Well, we didn't just get back from camping. We came back from camping Monday. Was the holiday weekend here in the U.S. And we went camping at one of the places that we frequent typically in our camping season. And actually, I don't think it's a spider. I don't think it's a mosquito bite. I think it's a spider bite. And it's like on the really like meaty part of my thigh. I don't know why that has to do with anything, quite frankly. Clearly, I just want to talk about my meaty thighs with you. Let's discuss our meaty thighs. But anyway, I think it's an actual spider bite. I don't think it's a regular mosquito bite because it's angry. It's so angry. Plus, I totally have a mosquito or some sort of bite on my foot. But the craziest thing is my feet have been swelling like in an insane way that I don't in any way understand. They did not swell at all when I was camping. We came back and in 24 hours, I gained 7 pounds. I was not eating ice cream for that 24 hours. Don't judge. Just because I'm a fat lady doesn't mean I ate a dozen eggs and 5 pounds of sausage to gain that 7 pounds. It was water. Well, and the food I ate that day, but 7 pounds. So some of you were like, oh my, that is disturbing. It is disturbing. I know it. It's creepy and weird. Creepy and weird. Don't worry, I'm taking the dandelion. Hopefully it'll go down. Right, what is that? It's a crazy town. Look like overinflated pool toys my feet do. It's not good. It's not good. Might have something to do with walking 20 miles over the weekend. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. But enough of that. I guess those are shenanigans. I know, right? My feet are grotesquely swollen. Let's share. I've got spider bites on my thighs. This is the most disgusting episode ever so far. Let's think if I can make anything else gross. Not off the top of my head. It was not my intention, people. I do apologize. I didn't mean to be gross. But I just am. But so yes, we went camping and it was lovely. We had a great time, as we usually do. We had threatening weather because, you know, of course, as soon as the 10 days before the camping trip is up, I am like on top of the weather. Like, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? And for the longest time, I thought it was going to rain all day Tuesday. There was threats. Or Tuesday. Sunday. But luckily, it held off until Monday morning. I always sleep so well when we're camping. Like, I never sleep as long as I do when I'm at home. Like, I'll be honest with you, I'm like a 7 to 8 hour girl. Like, legit. Like, I need 7 to 8 to be even close to a nice human being. Even with that, sometimes I don't make it. But there's no hope with less than 7 to 8 hours that I'm going to be a nice human being. Zero hope. Sorry, there's something... Anyway. So I always sleep way less when we're camping because I stay up past my bedtime. And then my puppy does not understand that we're camping and that she should sleep in. So, you know, around 6:30, she's banging on her crate door like, hey, let me out of here. I gotta go to the potty. So I never get as much sleep. But the thing that's cool is I like lay down and I do not move all night long. Like, I just wake up the next morning in the exact same position. Like, oh, I guess it's time to get up now. It's crazy. I don't feel like I'm like a super fretful sleeper at home, but I never go to sleep and wake up in the same position. Never. There, It's like you turn off a switch. Except Sunday night into Monday morning, I woke up at 5 a.m. and I thought that there was maybe like a raccoon battling my dog in our tent. It took me a minute to realize that that probably was not the case. Although I don't doubt that those raccoons can undo a zipper. Come on, they've got human hands. I'm sorry, they're going to take over the planet. It's going to be crazy. We had all sorts of discussion about if you watch SG-1, Stargate 1, they have any of the Stargate franchises, quite frankly, have replicators, which are like these little, I don't know how to describe them, but they're small units that then combine to create larger units, and like each individual unit has some autonomy, but then they combine to a larger whole, and they can, anyway, but we had like replicator raccoon things where we're like, the raccoons are all gonna get, or like you could say maybe Transformers more than meets the eye. But they were like all gonna like link up together and like do all sorts of crazy stuff. Which clearly they do. They're crazy raccoons. They're fascinating, disturbing. You kind of like, they're kind of your nemesis when you're camping just a little bit, but you gotta give it to them. You can't be too angry at them because they're out there fighting. They're scrappers. So you're like so not interested. I'm sorry. At least one of you is. I'm just going to keep rolling on. So everything was very cool until Sunday night, about 5 a.m. The wind like went crazy, and the place where we camp is very heavily wooded, and the trees are so very tall. I don't know if I feel like it does have something to do with it because they do not have a lot of branches until they get very high up. So they're these tall, thin trees, and I feel like that makes them make more noise. Now, that might not be true, but in my head that works. Because they like rub against each other and creak a lot because there's not as many leaves holding and branches kind of like holding them rigid and together. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I think it does. So there's just a lot of like little thin trees, well, big thin trees. And then, anyway, they're rubbing together and it was so loud. And of course it all echoes because again, when you have that open space between the canopy of the tree and the, I'm going to pause the show for just a minute. Oh, so anyway, so it feels like, so there's this big space between the canopy and the actual treetops, and I feel like then it echoes even more. Anyway, it's so loud. So that combined with the fact that we had foolishly left one cookie in a Ziploc bag. We always, for one thing, I take our food and anything like that in the in like hard plastic, like the containers, and I use the Ziploc ones, which have like actually like locking things. But we don't even leave those out because, again, raccoons, they have human hands. So we put all of that in our car. Well, the last night, for some reason, we didn't pack up before dark came. I know, right? What were we thinking? There was something that happened that was weird. I can't remember what it was, but anyway, threw everything. Oh, my child was injured. She wiped out on a scooter and like ripped her elbow up and her knee and her hand. She's fine. She just like got a little road rash. Of course, I was out walking the dog when it happened, so I completely missed it. I came back and she was just all anyway, so that how I kind of threw us off a little bit. So when I was packing everything up in the dark and our friends and everything, we missed. There was one Ziploc bag that had one cookie in it. There must have been like 40 raccoons trying to eat that cookie. Because at 5 a.m., the combination of the wind and then all the crazy raccoon sounds, I was like, dude, there is a raccoon in this tent. I did not get up. I convinced myself that it was okay. Like, I looked at all the doors and realized that they were not like flapping open in the wind and that the raccoon probably was not in the tent. And also Annie was not barking at the raccoon. But like the weird sound of the trees rubbing together, until I really kind of figured out what that was. And again, it's 5 a.m. and you're outside, okay? Like, your brain takes a minute to figure out what the flip is going on. So I'm like, so then it occurred, like, at first I thought that was the Annie making noises, the dog making like distress noises. Then I figured out what it was, probably really. But then the raccoons were making all their crazy noise trying to rip open that bag. Anyway. And then the skies opened up and the water fell down and it rained, which is so exciting to put away a wet tent. I never envy the like the RV slash pop-up slash non-tent campers. I never really envy them until we're packing up. And then I just see them like close the door on their RV and then get into the car and drive away, and I'm like, well, that does look very sexy. However, I am putting away a wet tent, like wrestling it on a tarp. I'm like covered in dirty mud. Not really, but a little bit, kind of. I am totally. Because I'm wrestling a tent that's been on the wet ground. Never envy them until it's time to pack up. Because I really like tent camping. Till it's time to put the tent away. And as much as I dread it and get all like, it takes like 25 minutes max. So unless it's like 100 degrees when you're packing up your camp, which it usually isn't, because my husband is like, oh, it's 7 a.m., let's pack. And I'm like, oh, just a cup of coffee. He is not a coffee drinker or a consumer of nutrition in any way. So the night before I was like trying to suss out what was his schedule in his brain. And I'm like, so are we going to get up and make breakfast? Because occasionally we will do that, not very often. It's like, are we going to get up and make breakfast? Like, and he's like, well, what do you want? And I'm like, well, I just need a cup of coffee. I should have clarified that I needed to have a cup of coffee while not doing anything else. Because I get my cup of coffee, and then he's already handed me stuff to pack. And I'm like, no! Stop! You don't understand. But really, it doesn't take that long. It's just the looming dread of like, oh, I want to do it. But then Joe says you're done. It's like, boom, boom. Then you get to feel all super self-righteous and accomplished, which is very exciting. I do enjoy those feelings. I'm not going to lie. I enjoy them. All packed up, ready to go. But anyway, that was a lot of me talking. Sorry, not really. I do have knitting and spinning to talk about. I know, right? What's up? I don't have shameless self-promotion. However, FYIs, if you are going to the Super Summer Knit Together in Nashville, Tennessee, are you going? I'm going. We're going. If you're going, I'm going to put pre-orders for the tagged bag, the commemorative bag. I'm going to put pre-orders up in the shop the first week of June. So I know I really should have one to show you. I apologize. I'm waiting on a tag. They're going to be here. I thought they were going to be here today, so I was going to try to whip one up before I did the recording. But apparently not. So, I think you like them though. Anyway, I'm going to put those up for pre-order the first week of June. Now, that will be rigid. I will have them up the first week of June. If something happens and you miss the pre-order window, I will not reserve additional bags because it's logistically very complicated. I know that sounds stupid, doesn't it? But it is. It's logistically complicated. My plan is to have them up for pre-order the first week of June. So like June 1st through June 8th, let's say. And they will be discounted. I've never done that before, but I want to encourage you to do the pre-order because it makes my life so much easier. It's worth it. So there will be a $5 discount on each size. So that $5 discount will be good through the first week of June. I may leave the pre-order up for just like a few days as a just in case, but they will not have the discount after that. And again, really, it's just, I'm doing 2 colors for SSK, which I've never done before. I've always made it just one. But this year I'm doing 2 colorways. I may regret that decision. Yeah. But it just, and I know that, it's like 6 weeks out for the retreat, but that just really helps me so much. It helps me so much to be able to get to have an idea of what to bring. I will bring extra, so if like you missed the pre-order, don't worry. There will be more bags at the retreat, at the marketplace. But it just helps me to get a good idea, especially when there's two colors, because I've never, like, I may think one of them is the one and then the other one is the one. It just helps me. Makes my life less stressful, which I am all about. This year I will have I will work with the ladies, the knit girls, to determine a time when I will actually have them available for pickup before the marketplace, so you don't have to deal with like a line or anything, because that might make life easier too. So those are the selling points. Do that. It's nice for me. Thanks. So anyway, that's the first week of June. And then the next actual shop date will be June 12th. And that will be a humongous update. It will be literally humongous. I don't know what I was thinking when I ordered this fabric. I was feeling very confident in my ability to sell bags. I don't know what I was thinking. I mean, really, I don't know what I was thinking. I have a lot of this fabric. So it will be a big update on June 12th. And that, if you are a person who's like, I never can remember that there's an update, just check the site, because there probably will be bags up for the week. It is a very large, I mean, it may not be, you know, each one of the 12 options, but the big update. And it is my traditional decorator weight fabrics. So as is the SSK bag, it's decorator weight. It's a linen cotton. I love it. Anyway, still talking about things that you don't care about. Maybe you do. I hope you do. So again, that update will be June 12th, and there will be no other shop updates as far as I have planned until after mid-July. It's until after SSK. Okay, I think that's all the talking about that stuff. Thank goodness. I'll try to remember to put a timestamp in if you don't care. Let's say about knitting and spinning. Oh my gosh, right? That's what this thing's about. Oh, we should probably commit at least 10% of the time to that. Maybe. I have finished knitting and spinning. Shut up. Okay, so I finished Shazam. I showed you a bobbin of this last week. This is my, actually, and I apologize. I said the wrong fiber. I think last week I told you it was Polworth. I was a liar. It's actually superwash Tarhi, which I've never spun before. I've spun Tarhi, I think, once. This was superwash Tarhi. And this is from Fat Cat Knits. It is 6 ounces in her spinach souffle colorway. I'm trying to see. It's hard to like both hold the thing up to try to get it to focus and to see if it's actually focusing. Do your magic stuff, camera. So anyway, I got about almost 700 yards, which is really good for me. I'm not a good one at spinning fingering weight. So that is a good thing indeed. And so it's about a fingering-ish, it's fingering to sport. I can never quite get myself together. Like I'm just never going to be a real consistent spinner. I think. Now I've been spinning for what? I think this is the 3rd year I've been spinning. But at the same time, don't care. Okay. Would I like to be perfect? Of course I would like to be perfect. But every time when I knit with my hand spun, I'm never like, oh my gosh. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't matter that much when you're actually knitting with it. It just does not matter that much. It all comes out in the wash, quite frankly. Anyway, I'm very pleased with how it turned out. I love the colors, and I like the yardage that I got. And I think it's going to be a great, beautiful little shawl. The Tarhi was... I liked it. Is it my favorite? No. And again, it might have just been the superwash aspect of it. It had a little bit of a whoops kind of a thing. Not to the point of it being frustrating. But it was a little slipperier than I normally gravitate towards. And again, that's probably the superwash more so than the Tarhi itself. If you don't understand superwash, what they do is essentially they remove the scales that are on the fiber. Like if you've watched a Pantene commercial, of course you have, you're a human. Although I don't know if they still do these. They did them when I watched commercials. Now we don't ever watch commercials. It's awesome. But remember they show you like the hair and it has like the scaly Barbie stuff on it? Barbs. Not like Barbie by I-E. Barbs. Like it has it's scaly looking, and then of course the Pantene smooths it all out. Well, the wool is scaly like that, and when you make it superwash, it removes those scales. So it removes the ability for the wool to felt, which just means the scales get on each other. So when you remove the scales, it makes it slipperier, which makes sense, right? It Pantenes it. The Pantene doesn't really remove the scales, just pushes them down. But you know what I mean, right? Okay. So anyway, I totally dig it. I'm very pleased with it. Yay. I am currently spinning some hobbledehoy batlings. I don't have enough, quite frankly, to show you. I don't have a ton of stuff this week. Between packing for camping and, you'd think when I was camping I would knit more, but I never do. It always in my head, it seems like, oh my gosh, we have so much downtime, I'm going to get so much knitting done. But then it really just doesn't end up that way for some reason. I don't know. But anyway, so I'm spinning currently some hobbledehoy hot chocolate batlings. And they're a Polworth, which I love Polworth batlings. They're my favorite. Anyway, so there are different flavors that look like this. And they're sparkly. And I may have 6 ounces of them. Hobbledehoy does a beautiful job. Plus, she's darling. Her kids are darling. Her family is darling. It's like a lot of darling stuff. Just saying. So, I'm working on those currently. Very pleasant. If I could just spin hobbledehoy batlings forever, it would not be a bad thing. I'm not that I don't like top, but it is very fun, the little nuggets. You're like, oh, I spun a nugget. I'm done. Very rewarding. I am also had grand intentions. I may have packed like 5 projects and worked on one for camping. You know what I mean. You've all done it. If not with camping, something else. So I even tried to do some practice. I am not a spindle spinner, if you're not familiar with the show. I spin on a wheel, and I have just never... I want to be a spindle spinner. It looks so attractive. It's so aesthetically appealing. Yet I haven't I just haven't done it. I just can't. I don't know what's wrong with me. But I did spin up on my Jerry Brock. I have what you can't really see because it's actually got some fiber on. Oh, wait, maybe you can see that. I have a Jerry Brock spindle that I bought last year at SSK, and it has little hedgies on it. You're never going to see it. The camera's so far away. Oh. But anyway, it has little hedgies on it. Jeez Louise, I'm such a fail. Anyway, so this is another hobbledehoy batling. This show is in no way paid for by hobbledehoy. Just worked out that way. But so there's my little turtle. And these are more Polworth silk batlings. I've been just trying to do as little mini skeins. That's what the batling looks like when you do it. This is like a third of one or something. Very enjoyable. I apologize. I'm trying to remember what colorway that was. I feel like it was a flower name. Like geraniums, but it was not geraniums. Old English Garden. I don't know. I can't remember. So I just put this in one of my little project bags, my little sock bags. Shameless self-promotion for a moment. I have changed my sock bag design. Normally my bags all have, I'm trying to find where you can actually see it very, I don't know if you can see it or not. All my bags usually have a zipper stop. However, on the sock bags, I made them that way for a long time, and I decided that I wanted to stop making that way. I hope you like them still. I like them better. I like the way they feel when they're closed if they have the zipper stop. I like it much better. It feels heavier and more stable to me, which I enjoy. However, while putting socks in and out of a bag, the zipper stop on such a small width bag, so this bag is about 9.5 inches or so wide. With those zipper stops, it's just enough to make it hard to get, for me, to get the socks in and out. So I have recently stopped putting those on, just the sock bag, nothing else, because all the other zippers are huge. You don't need to worry about it. But on the sock bag, I have stopped putting them on there because even though I like the way it feels when it's closed better, I feel like ultimately this is more functional, which is more important ultimately in my book than aesthetics. I don't know. Anyway, I hope you still like them. I apologize if you don't. If you didn't like that they didn't open as much before, well, maybe we can try one now. I don't know. And so I thought I would just mention that official style, because this is so very official. But anyway, that's why I did it. I wanted it to have a great, it just is, because also with the zipper stops, it kind of it keeps this part more, anyway, it keeps it from being as open this way, roundy round, as it is now. So that was the theory behind the change. If you were like, what is this about? That's what it was about. Okay, so that's all the spinning. Now let's talk about knitting. Crazy, right? Okay, let's do it. Oh, I didn't bring those over. Here. Well, I have finished object. These are socks for my mamaw. It's almost her birthday. Gotta get these in the mail. This is just a plain old cuff down sock, vanilla style. This is Miss Babs Tarte, which is I believe it's merino nylon. But anyway, it's Tarte. And this is the biker chick colorway, which is kind of funny because my mama is not a biker chick. Should clutch her pearls about that. But I like this yarn, and I like the Tarte. I just like how it feels. My mama really loves handmade socks. We just found this out like a year ago, maybe. She loves handmade socks. However, while she has not said that she does not like the opal and commercial, she really prefers the hand-dyeds. She has no idea that there is a cost differential. Like, she does not know that one is more or less expensive than the other, which of course she doesn't. But she is very much a fan of the hand-dyed. So anyway, so this is Miss Babs Tarte in the biker chick colorway. I really like how it turned out, and I have a gajillion yards left. Okay, that's ridiculous. But now Mama has a narrow foot. She's a size 9, but her foot is narrow, so it's like 56 stitches. It's 50. Yeah, I still can't say it. Anyway, so she's a narrow foot, but it is still longish. But I have a ton of that yarn left. I don't know if I have quite half a skein, but I might. So yeah, that. Now, the other thing I forgot to show you is I finished my daughter's, and I'll try to remember them next time. Do you remember this yarn? This Crazy Town yarn? This is Nitty in Color, and this is her, oh, I don't have it with me. But anyway, I think it's a merino nylon sock. I don't remember what she calls the base. I apologize. I feel like it's like tough sock or strong sock or something like that. But anyway, it's the merino nylon one. And this is the colorway Ain't It Fun? And I made my daughter a pair of socks, which I forgot to bring over. And they look like that. Isn't that crazy? Crazy. Okay, I'm going to have to stop this because I'm about to run out of battery. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. And since I had to stop the blasted thing, I might as well show you the socks I made. I plugged the camera in this morning in anticipation of recording, and apparently while I plugged the charger into the camera, I neglected to plug the charger into the wall. Because I have moments of intense brilliance that way. So anyway, I did finish my daughter's socks, with Nitty and Colors Ain't It Fun. And they look like this. They're not blocked, but she's 8. I'm not blocking her socks. Ow, right? Aren't those crazy down? Now, can you say if that's real or not real color? I don't know, but they're fun, right? They're reading a little bit like that. Blue is not quite that royal bluey. It's more tealy, but whatever. They're crazy town, right? So exciting. These I knit cuff down, and I put just a little tiny bit of 2x2 ribbing in there because she is growing. She has a very narrow foot right now, but as it is spring and I would like her to be able to wear these this winter, I wanted to give her a little bit of extra room. So I made these a 60 stitch circumference with a little bit of ribbing. I knit them cuff down and with a very blunt toe because I figure, you know what, I didn't even think about that. That was not very bright. Originally I thought I would save this extra yarn so that I could rip out the toe and then make, you know, the toe bigger as she grew so that they would last longer. It just occurs to me I'm using the yarn for something else. Whatever, I'll just make the toes a different color. She'll think that's festive anyway. I totally thought that and then I forgot all about it. Whatever. So I made the toe really shallow so that it's very easy to rip out when it is time. I'm just having a moment where I'm like, dummy. Not that it's a big deal. I probably would have lost the yarn between now and then anyway, or again would have used it for some other weird nefarious purpose. But it is just like, really, Flighty McFlighter pants, get yourself together. But so they're very fun and cute. Yay them. But my thought process on the next thought was that I probably would not put that yarn in like a magic cake shawl. Because I'm just, even though that I'm sure it would work out really fun, I'm just not that sassy, quite frankly. So I thought I'll make myself a pair of really short socks. I don't know if you've seen them, but is it Orange City Knits? I could be completely wrong. Anyway, she's just recently put out a very short, like roll cuff sock, and it's a free pattern, and it's named after a roller derby team. I know all of the things that cannot help you. Do you enjoy that about me? I thought you might. Anyway, it's a very, I believe, as I already said, the pattern is free, I think. I think I did. But anyway, it's a cuff down roll top sock. And I'm like, I didn't really want to make mine cuff down because I've been wanting, I've made a couple of pairs of short socks in the past and have had trouble with them really staying put. And I would like to have some for athletic purposes. Not just for funsies, but just for actual like functional athletic socks. Which, I don't know, it sounds silly, but whatever. Sorry. I'm having a moment of insanity. Okay, Rose City Roller is the name of the pattern. Orange Knits, who I follow on Instagram, has put them out. That's terrible color reading, but it's awesome sauce. But anyway, so I wanted them, but I didn't really want them with a regular heel. I wanted to try the Spacious OMG heel, which is Megan Williams. I have that heel pattern in her Expanding Community sock, which I knit with Miss Babs, I think Tarte, if I'm not mistaken, and just continually love the way those socks fit. And I was not sure if it was just the perfect combination of yarn and heel, or if it maybe just that heel could be carried over and be awesome all the time, which I'm sure will be. So I'm trying that heel on this sock because it really like goes pop and fits right on the heel, which is what I think works best for a short cuff sock. So I'm trying it out. I hope it works because it would be awesome if it did. Because I can't wear long pants from, I have a personal rule. Where I can't wear long pants between June 1st and like September 15th or something. Just can't wear long pants. But sometimes I need to wear a sneaker. And I would like to have an option for my sock. It's not a huge cuff. Because I already look awkward enough, people. Awkward enough. So anyway, it would be nice just to have an alternative Smart Wools. I don't know about you, but as I just discussed a while ago, I have trouble with my feet swelling sometimes in the summertime. I'm sure most Lots of ladies do. I don't want to say most, but lots. And sometimes the smart wool sock at the end of the day starts to kind of cut into my cankle. It's cut into my cankle. So it would be nice if I had an option that would allow a little bit more flexibility. It's not painful, but, you know, anyway, aside. Oh, what was I even talking about? Okay, so I'm doing the Spacious OMG Heel by Megan Williams from her Expanding Community sock, and I'm just going to do a shorty. So this again is the Nitty in Color, Ain't It Fun? I did a little bit of toe with who's my other person who does fun colors? Spun Right Round. This was one of her mini skeins in a mini skein kit that she generously gifted to me. And so I'm doing the toes out of those. The other sock may have a toe and a heel out of it. I don't know, because I might run out of yarn. Anyway, so those are fun and crazy and weird. And I think they'll be excellent. I know, I just saved up last week's talking and just added it to this week's talking. So there's a lot of talking. I'll try not to apologize for it because there's no need to. You don't want to watch, you don't have to. So the next sock, I finished one. I have such fat feet. I used to very vainly only knit socks with ribbing on the top because I didn't like them to look so fat when I had them off the needles. So vain. It's like your underpants, right? If you're a big lady and you have a big underpant region, when you're like trying to be, you don't want to see like your giant parachute panties on the floor. So sometimes you like wear this slightly, maybe a little bit less comfortable, but like the thong or like a bikini or something that has lots of stretch, like Lane Bryant's underpants. Like the difference, Lane Bryant knows what they're doing, because when I take off my Lane Bryant underpants, they're like this big. But when I take off like the Hanes Her Way, they're like this. Yeah, they don't even fit in the camera. That's how big they are, people. They're like this big. Because they're not as stretchy. The Lane Bryant one is like, oh no, really, you're not that fat. It's okay. The Hanes ones are like, give up hope. Give up hope. But anyway, so it's like that. It's like I just hold that fat foot. Oh. Then you put a little ribbing in it. Looks much more reasonable. Which that one I'm knitting totally does have a little bit of ribbing in it. And look how much smaller it looks. That one with Nitty in Color. Look at that. Look how much smaller that sock looks. Just got like 6 stitches of 1x1 on each side. Those are like grotesquely different. Hey, look at that. It looks like 10% bigger. Anyway, I'm so big. So I used to only do that, but now I've just whatever. So there's one sock. This is in Opal's Hundertwasser. I don't even care if that's the right way to say it. I like to say it that way. But I'm pretty confident that that's almost exactly the right way to say it. Hundertwasser. This is colorway. Oh, come on, Opal. Stop confusing me. This is colorway 3200 or 940, but I believe it's 3200. And it's this Hundertwasser painting. Now, this yarn, I had knit a cuff of this sock and then put it away because I have a lot of sock yarn. And I don't knit that many socks. Like, I'm not a real fast sock knitter. So I really had a moment of like, do I really want to commit to this sock when I have so many other fun ones? But something about it just kept drawing me back. So I figured, I'll just go and finish it. And it's pretty fun, right? Woo, it's Crazy Town. So that much done, and then this much done of this one. This one I am knitting on double points on size 0. These are carbons. They're my favorite double points for sock knitting. The other sock that I showed you is knit Magic Loop. I kind of go back and forth on which one I prefer. I really think I'm faster in Magic Loop though. But the aesthetics of the double points is very charming as well. It's like the turtle on the Turkish spindle. That means Turkish spindle, right? Hopefully it doesn't mean anything profane. It means Turkish spindle. Don't judge. It's like the aesthetics of the Turkish spindle are so nice. You have to like wind the little cop versus the traditional drop spindle, which is not as quite as beautimous, the cop that you make. It's kind of like that, but it takes longer to make that pretty little cop. Well, that's kind of how I feel about double points. I like the look of them quite a lot, but I really, Magic Loop, if I had to choose, I would choose Magic Loop because I feel like Magic Loop travels better. I'm never worried about losing one of these little doohickeys, which I haven't done. And I do think I'm faster, but I'll change my mind in a few days. So there's that one. And I have no idea how long this episode is because I've had to stop it several times. So I literally, this could be like 7 hours long and I would not know. I'll show you my little shawl I've been working on. I'll show you that next week because I haven't made a huge amount of progress with it. The thing that I did make when I was camping, that's not too bad to show for it, is it? I made some little washcloths. My child is notoriously bad at remembering to wash her face. I won't even say she's bad at remembering to wash her face. My child never remembers to wash her face. And I'm notoriously bad at remembering until 3 seconds before we need to walk out the door. So I like to have a little stash of tiny washcloths downstairs. Because she's a tiny face. Even as a big human, your face, this is plenty big for your whole face. No need to knit extra. So this is kind of an adaptation of the grandmother's favorite dishcloth. The thing I do, which you can probably see, is I do not do the yarn overs on the border. For no particular reason, just what I do is I do a backward loop yarn over and then just knit into that so that it's closed. So I do a yarn over, but then I close it up. I don't leave it open by twisting it essentially. So yeah, so I just do those. The only different thing is I also just cast on 2 stitches and then just make it up until it gets to be the right width. And I think these are about I think these are 35 stitches wide, if I'm not mistaken. I really prefer them to be more tightly knitted, but I was camping and my gauge was off. So, what are you going to do? I think this was the first one I knitted at home. Like, look, isn't it nice and firm? And then this next one is like 10% bigger. Yep. Gauge changes when you're sitting around a campfire. So, but anyway, so I got 4 of those done. Yeah, I finished 4 and have about a little bit over half of the next one. This is Schockenmeyer Original Multicolor. And it is, I believe, yes, it's 100% cotton. And I'm trying to see what colorways. This one is colorway 86. So these are 50-gram balls. I used, well, no, I can't tell. But anyway, so this is how much I have. Quite a bit left over, and I have 4.5 done. This is the second ball, though. So I think probably about 3.5 balls per 50 grams, if I had to guess. Because see, there's a tie-in halfway through this one. So I'm thinking 3.5 balls per 50-gram things. And they have fun colors. Like they also have this color, which is like kind of rainbowy. This is color 91. And I got these at Webb's. I think they were like $3.99 a ball, if I'm not mistaken. I could be a liar. Anyway, I like the way it feels quite a bit. I'm kind of a picky pain in the neck about cotton yarns. I don't really like knitting with them. They are nice though when it's hot. But I'm very sensitive to like a grit feel. Like what's that one? The peaches and cream one? I cannot. It gives me the creepers. It gives me the chills. So this is very pleasant though. And the other washcloths I have, I made out of Knit Picks Dishy, and they've held up for like 6 years, and they look as fine as they did when I first made them. So hopefully these will hold up as well. So there's that. Oh, that's a lot of talking. I'm sorry, people. That is a lot of me talking. But that is the end of me talking. So yay! I hope you have a great week. I already talked about all this shameless self-promotion. I worked that in somehow. And I will, next week might also be a weird recording. I'm going to try to record on time, but I will have little people here all week, so it might be crazy. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, I'll talk to you next time.